Hi again. So basically we have touched on the return to office auspicious day. We have touched on the auspicious location, which is the east and southeast location of your place. So now let's talk a little bit regarding the term that everybody have concern with as far as the child zodiac system is concerned, right? And the term that we're using over here is Tai Sui. So basically, just to clarify, the Tai Sui that is actually related directly with the system of zodiac is actually everything to do with celestial body, but not really too much to do with any religion as well as the TCM, right? So it's not a fungus that is actually being defined as Tai Sui TCM. It is also having an indirect relationship, but not a direct relationship with the religion, right? Why? Because basically the celestial body that we're talking about that has originated the Tai Sui for Yi calculation is actually Jupiter. Why is that so? Because the ancient astrologies, based on their observation, they find that actually wherever Jupiter is in related with 3 or 4 locations, will have actually an adverse effect in terms of disaster. Whether it's going to be actually natural disasters, whether it's going to be actually human disasters, there's always something here and there that is not actually very much welcome. So it has been actually a duty for the ancient astrologies to actually take note where is the location of Jupiter, and they do find that in order for Jupiter to actually orbit around the same location, take about 11.88 years. The decimal, however, actually makes them a little bit difficult to go for precision plotting. And in contrast to a lot of common belief, basically when it comes to the system of Yi, feng shui, yin yi, 八字, 奇门遁甲, 紫微斗数, we all talk about precision. So in order for the precision to actually get in place, they have decided to create a virtual planet from Jupiter by actually shifting 7.5 degrees from the location, and that is Tai Sui. So after they actually observe this celestial phenomenon and they actually align that together with the system of child zodiac, which in other words 12地支, they find that actually their phenomenon is able to actually harmonize and synchronize each other. So thus that is actually when they start to use the system of Tai Sui in terms of zodiac. So with this actually clarified, okay, this year basically there are actually 4 zodiac that actually trigger the effect of Tai Sui, which are the zodiac of snake, the zodiac of tiger, the zodiac of monkey, and the zodiac of bull. So for the system of Tai Sui, right, the zodiac that has been actually triggered this year is actually having an identity what we call traveling horse. In Chinese, 神煞, 也就是说驿马, right? Then on the other hand, this is also having the phenomenon of what we call the longevity or 长生, right? So no matter whether it's actually 长生or whether it's actually this traveling horse, it just means power, high level of energy, which will actually ignite, okay, for mass movement. So regardless of whether you trigger the impact of Tai Sui, this is actually a moving year because of the high energy level that is going to be injected after the 3rd of February, which is the starting of spring. In Chinese, we're talking about 立春, right? So what's so special about the starting of spring? Actually, this is the only date that you should actually use to decide what is your zodiac. Okay? In contrast to a lot of common belief, the zodiac is not decided by the first day of CNY. In other words, first day of Lunar New Year, 年初一. It is actually decided by the starting of spring, 立春, which is always on the 3rd, 4th, or 5th February every year. So if let's say your birthday is actually around 3rd, 4th or 5th February, then you have every reason to actually check, actually are you referring back to the correct zodiac, because there may be a confusion over here, right? So if you happen to actually fall on the date of starting of spring, then basically you will need to actually spend an extra effort to understand what time exactly is the starting of spring. For example, this year, the starting of spring is actually on the 3rd of February, 10:10 or 10:25 depending on the location that you are, right? So in other words, if let's say there's a baby being born on the 3rd of February but before 10 p.m, then the zodiac we still consider to be actually last year there's actually a zodiac of dragon. But however, if let's say for example, the baby is actually born on 3rd of February, 11 p.m. Definitely, it actually belongs to the zodiac of snake, right? So thus, the starting of spring, which is the date for you to decide what is your zodiac, will be a very important factors for you to consider and confirm what zodiac you are, right? And after you have this confirmed, then we actually move on into the impact of Tai Sui as far as the zodiac is concerned, right? Thank you.